good evening, folks. This is Lila's Corner, and we're sharing these bedtime stories with you. Val will be with me, Dean Val, and also we have the honor of having a guest on tonight. So, Kim Van. So I'll just.
I'm here. Tim's fine, anyway, Lila.
I'm going to be reading something, and I'm going to be ending tonight in a little story that to me is one of the old masters, but by golly, it is so beautiful. So that'll be for tonight, at the end of our little session with you tonight. Your Dream Vision, Part 4. As the new student lays their head down on the pillow at night, the real guides take care of a lot of the various attachments that hang around a person and alleviate them from time that one awakes in the morning. This is the gift of the true reality. To provide assistance to those who look to it, because of all of us are seeing and providing the challenges. It becomes a part of the all is. Eventually, the real guides arrange for the new student to have their first stages of becoming more aware in their dream visions. All headmasters, such as Gerald and Durwood, are from the lower astral realms and are not able to succeed any further with their membership and followers because they have been banned from entering into the higher areas, as they have decided to have people worship them. And just as the gods of man have been unaware for centuries, there are multitudes of headmasters upon the earth who support the gods of man and what they imply. All of them play it supposedly safe with their agreement to the rep systems, so as to not rock the boat, and by doing so keeps all the followers with the dualistic forces. The real guides do not hold favor for anyone. They stand for the true reality of all that is real. Just like Superman, who does not make the deals, the real guides are not concerned about the politics of others, nor will they yield to the power plays of arrogant and ignorant humans who, just because they have money, possessions, and so-called status, they are very special in some way. All that a person owns will soon leave them, and they will at once be again wandering through their life and searching for real truth, which only the real guides have a real connection to. People who do follow politics and religion do not want real truth. They want to belong with others who are lost and marketed with pretty words that only sound good. When a person wants real truth, they will run from all the systems of earth and find real guidance. Then and only then will they discover what real truth and real freedom is. In a person's dream arena, the real guides provide the new student with what Paul calls self-realization. This is where a person becomes aware of the first 5 levels of the psychic realms and their involvement here. And where one stands at the top of the lower realms and is able to look down upon creation and over the top of the gods of man and perceive a remarkable new view of all one has been through. Soon after, there is the most wondersome experience of all, the entering into the real universes. The 7th level, where there is no darkness or evil, and all the authorities of the earth are forgiven and forgotten forever. This is the first stage of beingness. Eventually, those who have the great courage and heart to go all the way come into the most astounding awareness of all, the great reality, the true source of all that is. This real position cannot be described in any way, but only perceived. Very few will reach the top of the mountain of the is and see it as it is, because it is too real. Could we have some discussion on that?
Yeah. Tim, can you talk tonight, or should we just discuss among ourselves here?
I can talk a little. Yeah,
okay.
How important real courage and the real heart is to be able to ever get the view from the top of the mountain of the is on all of this creation stuff and over the gods of man. And it's just amazing when we look at these words that we're trying to share right now with others. Of all the people on the earth, and we know there's so many, and of all the words that have been spoke and wrote down for so long, how important certain words are, if anyone is listening, if their intuition or something says to, it's something that you're want to pay attention to what's being said about life, that it sounds like this experience that we have forever can be so amazing and unimaginably, whatever you want to call it, good or wonderful, or it's just words to try to imagine how wonderful it is to be totally free and have real love. And this gift being given to mankind at this time, this new presentation, these books that are being offered by Dwayne the Great Writer and the people involved sharing, like Val and Lila and Kelsey and Henry and Eric, and there's a lot of people involved trying to be helpful and sharing this treasure that will finally wake us up to what's real about life and how wonderful it is.
Really, to be free of this body here, this really is a trap. Maybe you're a great golfer, or maybe you just have had your legs amputated, Either way, it's a great life, and it's a challenge. And we all have to go through good or bad. Yeah.
One thing I picked up here was that the perception of the is from how I see it, is it's different than an experience. We have experiences on the real side with the real guides and with different beings, etc. But to perceive or recognize the is, I don't know. I'm going on a limb, but I don't know if it's an experience. It's more like a recognition, which is I'd see it as a different. It's a perception. It's in a way it's an experience, but it's really more real because you're actually with an experience you may not see the is or perceive it, but with the recognition, true recognition or perception of it, then it's there. You've got it. You've got that reality.
Yeah, life showing us what it is.
Yes.
All of us have gone through a vast amount of experience to have been able to come into this day and age. And as we are establishing our new life each time around, we're in a new set of situations that involve many complications. And so it is not uncommon for certain people to have a complex about dealing with others, and especially large groups. I know it took me a lot to build up my confidence over the years as I went out and did presentations in the public and on what the Real Guides had to offer. Going out in the public and setting up lectures is one thing, but to present something that is not common to most, that's a big task to take on. I went through a lot of attitudes with people as they sat and listened to me and were not always sure as to what I was presenting them. As I watched the audience with each presentation, I could tell how they were responding. At times, I could see people fidgeting and moving around their seats and sometimes taking notes and handing them to their mates. There were a few times when I finished the talk, then some people would jump up and run out of the place. All of what I had done is a huge step of courage because it was for sure was not my nature to be in the public eye. And so many who have a shy streak in them will often dream about being someone they look up to as one of the presidents or a sports hero, even possibly a character from the past, such as Napoleon, Cleopatra, or those with the medieval in them, Genghis Khan. I always seemed to dream of being Superman, as it was my destiny. Much of the human race looks to heroes of some sort, but when all are compared for what they really do and are, the real universal guides are the real superheroes, far beyond what anyone has ever done before and here in the public. The average person likes to think of themselves in a particular light with the sense they have been brought up with. They see themselves as free thinkers with what they regard as the right way to see things, no matter what the idea involves. But what is not seen on the surface from the human view is that all thinking, no matter how supposedly creative or divine, is censored thought. Most people do not really create or divine. It's censored thought. Most people do not really listen when a conversation or communication is taking place. They're usually too busy assuming and dreaming in their own mind, either what they want to hear or what the outcome of the involvement will be for them. I work with all sorts of people, and because I have had a lot of experience relating to others, I have learned to step and to listen to every word a person says, and at the same time, listen to what I'm saying. It is very true that most people do not listen to others, and especially what they themselves are saying. Here again is why most people do not understand their dreams or even want to, because they can in no way understand themselves. And quite frankly, they do not want to relate someone such as themselves. And so, this is why a lot of people constantly criticize others, when instead they could be doing wonderful things for themselves. First of all, then they would be, what would they be? Well, they would be the shining example, just like the sun. I find that the majority of people that start assuming ideas around what I am presenting to them, I like to use the sun as a representation of the all-is, as it shines upon all and asks nothing in return. It simply just shines and provides so much. The reply I usually get is something else, like this. Oh, this is some form of meditation, or one of those Eastern philosophies, or possibly like what's his name and what he wrote. Have you read his books? Here again, who is really paying attention? Here's a perfect example of a person not at all paying attention, but assuming all over the galaxy, which in no way relates to what I have mentioned to them about the sun and the simplicity of what is real. If it were me, I would reply, wow, that sounds interesting. Tell me about it. Then I would listen and respectfully ask questions.